We are in the middle of eclipse season, and on the 7th of September we have an extremely powerful full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. In this video I'm going to explain the energy of this lunar eclipse and what it means for all 12 zodiac signs. If you're new here, hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Georgie. I am a Western astrologer using the tropical zodiac. Thank you for being here today. Don't forget that if you get some value from this video, to please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so we don't lose each other in the abyss of YouTube. And if you are a returning viewer, then thank you for being here. It's lovely to see you guys. So I also do readings, guys. Before I forget to mention, I do personal readings, a variety of readings for a variety of budgets. Whatever you need help with, I'm sure I can help you. You can take a look at the information that's linked on my page. You can message me through my website, or you can join me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm also on there as well and available for messaging on there. So thank you for being here. How is everyone feeling? We are in the middle of the eclipse energy right now. We are in what we call the eclipse portal, which does happen twice a year. And eclipses are the times of year when the sun, the moon, and the earth come together in perfect alignment in the sky. Ancient astrologers saw this as quite a scary time, actually. They used to shut themselves away, they used to hide away because they actually feared eclipses. Eclipses were very feared because people would experience intense changes in their lives. Now, of course, it's not very helpful in modern astrology to fear eclipses. I actually find, although eclipses can be a bit volatile and wild, I think they're exciting. Like, guys, we are being nudged back onto our correct path from the eclipses by the universe. So what I mean by that, in astrology, eclipses happen, like I said, when the sun starts to come close to the south node or the north node. In this case, the sun is moving close to the south node. When it's within 15 degrees of the south node, it means it's close to the moon's original point of orbit. So it's basically a very sensitive point. So when the sun is coming close to that, and then the moon gets involved, so we have, either a full moon or a new moon. In this case, we're having a full moon. It's happening around the ecliptic point, around the moon's ecliptic point. And this in astrology means we are getting close to the south node and the north node, and these are the points of destiny. So when the sun comes close to the points of destiny and the moon comes close to the points of destiny, these are, of course, our luminaries. These are the most important planets in astrology, the sun and the moon. It's highlighting something. Our sun represents our ego, it's how we shine. Our moon is our emotions. These two planets are huge significators of different things happening in our lives, from an ego perspective, from an emotional perspective. And so when they are coming up to these sensitive points, we are being nudged or jolted or kicked back into alignment. Sounds a bit dramatic, nothing to worry about. So we have been having eclipses on this axis all year. So Pisces and Virgo is the axis we are dealing with in 2025 and 2026, because even when the south and the north node move out of Pisces and Virgo, which I think is the middle of next year, we're still going to be having eclipses within range. Eclipses in Pisces and Virgo within range. So actually this story is going to continue, started at the end of 2024, it's going to continue for 2025 and 2026. So the reason I'm just pointing that out is because it's highly significant. This axis for you, all of us, is highly significant in some way throughout 2025 and throughout 2026. And of course, we already know we're having other changes this year and next year. And it's just interesting that these eclipses are happening for such a long period of time, longer than the usual 18 months, just because of the way it falls. So it's highlighting significance for you all in the Pisces and the Virgo section of your chart. Now, in this particular video, we are touching on the full moon. So every time there's a full moon eclipse, it is a lunar eclipse, okay? So the moon, lunar, that's how you kind of remember it. Solar eclipse is a new moon. It's based more around the start of something, and that's when the moon comes together with the sun as a new moon. Lunar eclipse is a full moon. So Full moon. So a full moon eclipse is basically like a full moon on steroids. It's a very charged full moon. It is a full moon. It still operates as a normal full moon would, in the sense of we're releasing something, something's happening, we can see things happen, there's going to be endings, but and this happens with every full moon anyway, we can also see beginnings, because when something ends, a new chapter opens. And because this full moon is happening with the North Node, we are being pushed towards the North Node. So there's going to be a lot of new beginnings. It's not just going to be saying goodbye. There's going to just be things happening that are very, very relevant. Though relevance is a key term. Whatever's happening around an eclipse is very relevant, because the eclipse points, so the North and the South nodes, are the points of destiny. So anything happening around this time is destined. If you are saying goodbye to friendships, relationships, jobs, situations, things are changing, this is because it's meant to be changing. Change can feel scary. It doesn't always feel comfortable. But a lot of positive stuff can also be happening as well, guys. So I don't want everyone to be fearing and scared of eclipses. You know, this particular eclipse is actually trining Jupiter, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. But we can see lots of positive changes. Now, what I will say is that every eclipse season, you start to hear stories. So you see bad things in the news, you see or hear of people, you know, losing loved ones. And that can happen more frequently around eclipses, because the eclipses are going to be very relevant for certain people. Now, the majority of us, it's not going to be that we lose somebody, but you will, or you may have heard over the past couple of weeks or over the next couple of weeks of somebody having lost someone. And that is a part of an eclipse story, because in their personal charts, they will have something going on that's very personal for them. Now, the important thing to note about eclipses is that they operate in 6 month periods. So after an eclipse happens, bearing in mind, like I said, we can feel this energy a few weeks before and a few weeks after. I actually think up to a month before an eclipse, we can see something related to that eclipse. So we're thinking about Pisces in this sense. So think about the Pisces section of your chart. A month before and a month after, we can see things relevant, because the energy, the portal is wide. It's not just the 7th of September. You know, what's happened in August, what's been happening in August, what's been building, what's going to happen in September and the beginning of October. That's all part of this eclipse story. So kind of pay attention, especially, you know, a lot of you guys watching this, you know your own chart, so you'll be able to work out where Pisces is, and Virgo as well, because we've got the Virgo one coming in a couple of weeks. So pay attention. It's like a wide time scale. So where something may happen, so you may just see an event, you may see something really relevant, something's happening around this time, like it would on a full moon. Like you're going to an event, something new is happening, there's something starting in your life, and obviously I will run through the signs. But then over the next 6 months, you may then see something unfold that is significant to that eclipse. And this is important. If you're thinking, oh, nothing's really happening, I've not really noticed anything happen, pay attention to the next 6 months. For example, we had an eclipse in Aries earlier this year. I have Aries on my 10th house of career. Now, it's taken months. So Aries is obviously kind of March, April time. I've recently just finished one part-time job, and I've started a new part-time job. Aries is on my 10th house of career, but that's actually taken 6 months for that to happen. So it doesn't necessarily happen straight away, but something will be relevant. Now, because this is happening in Pisces, the mutable signs are really, really, really relevant. Okay, so Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius and Gemini, the eclipses are taking place in an angular house for you. That's 1, 4, 7 and 10. These houses are sensitive. These houses are very important. It's where they hold our angles, you know, our ascendant, our descendant, our IC and our MC. So these are the 4 key areas of our life: ourself, our family, our relationships and our career. So when you have things happen in these houses, it's just really relevant, because these areas of life are so, they're key areas of our lives, okay? So the mutable signs, so whether that's you've got your sun there, your moon there, your rising sign, or if you've got a lot of planets there, and actually see if you have any planet around 15 degrees, because if the eclipse is squaring one of your planets, then it's going to be more relevant, or opposing, it's going to be more relevant to you. So the eclipse itself is happening at 15 degrees of Pisces. Now, 15 degrees is a Leo degree. Let me just check that. So 50, yeah, it's a Leo degree, isn't it? Because 12 is Pisces, 12 is Pisces, 13 is Aries, 14 is 14 is Taurus, 15, oh no, it's Gemini degree. Sorry, I thought I had that wrong in my head. I was like, I'm saying that, but it doesn't feel right. So it's a Gemini degree. So that means there's Gemini themes kind of embedded. So when we're thinking about information, community, learning, connection, siblings, which is interesting because Mercury is here too, and Mercury obviously rules Gemini. So actually you will definitely see some of those themes, whether it's important conversations, things to do with community and connection, things to do with your siblings, things to do with travel, short distance trips. They can all be relevant in some way embedded into this eclipse. Now, the 15 degree mark is in the second decan of Pisces, which is connected to the 9 of Cups, or in this case, the 9 of Water tarot card. So I'm going to read you the positive affirmation, and it is a positive affirmation. It's a positive card, the 9 of Water. So I'm going to read the affirmation to you. So it says, dreams come true, wishes fulfilled, completion, enjoyment, contentment, achievement of desire. It is my right to say no to what isn't right for me, and now is my time to experience wishes fulfilled. The sweet harvest that came about from seeds I planted. I drink in the aroma of successful endeavour, take pride in my hard work and achievement, and savour the satisfaction of a job well done. I deserve to pause and acknowledge all I co-created, and I do it joyfully. So that's a really positive card, and it's encouraging you and basically saying that your dreams are coming to fruition. And of course, because it's an eclipse, you're going to be seeing shifts, you're going to be seeing things move back into alignment. So you may well see your dreams coming to fruition. Now, the eclipse itself, so what is interesting about this? So it's a 15 degrees. Saturn has retrograded back into Pisces, and although it's not conjunct, but I find it really interesting that just before this eclipse happens, Saturn has retrograded back into Pisces, because when a Saturn retrogrades back into a sign, it is there to complete something, to go back over something. And Saturn retrograding back into Pisces is a reality check around: where are we sticking up for ourselves? Where are we setting our boundaries? Where are we becoming disciplined around our self-sabotaging behaviors, around our health, around our spiritual health? Where do we need to take responsibility for how we let others walk all over us? Where are we learning to take responsibility for our dreams, our aspirations? Pisces can be connected to our dreams. It's what we're fantasizing about. And where are we putting those plans in place, essentially? What are we doing? What steps are we taking in order to move towards our goals and our aspirations and our dreams? There may be some issues, people collectively, maybe some issues with sleep. Taking responsibility around our spiritual habits, around our spiritual path. So if you're somebody that's spiritual and if you're on a bit of a journey, taking responsibility for that, and maybe kind of getting a plan together towards that, or working with somebody older than you when it comes to completing that path might be relevant for some of you in some way. Saturn is a reality check. For the most part, this is going to be about our boundaries and kind of setting healthy boundaries for ourselves. And Saturn is coming back, so it's coming back to remind us something. So that may be part of this eclipse. For some of you, it might be something to do with taking on an authoritative role, maybe studying something higher educational wise, or so that to get like a certificate, or just taking on some sort of role of authority in the Pisces section of your chart. But I'll come on to that when we talk about the signs. But I just think it's interesting that we're having this eclipse and Saturn's moved back into Pisces. So you may just see Pisces themes in general, because remember, it's still a full moon. A realization around the things I've just mentioned, a realization around how you need to set boundaries with people, themes to do with spirituality, spiritual groups, escapism, how we self-sabotage, how we play the victim, actually, and that may be relevant in some way. So those are Pisces themes. Our dreams, our intuition, the collective, unconditional love. Pisces is connected to unconditional love. It's also connected to loss. And so for some of you, there will be an element of losing, saying goodbye to something, healing something, and letting something go. Sometimes that can be in the physical world. Sometimes that can be emotionally or spiritually, okay? Now, the actual eclipse itself is trining Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter's in Cancer. This is a really, really positive omen for this full moon eclipse. So being shifted towards your destiny, being propelled towards your destiny, meeting people that are part of your destiny, and new opportunities coming your way in connection to that. Opportunities for growth, opportunities for learning and wisdom, opportunities for abundance and prosperity coming to you through this lunar eclipse. It's really it's got a positive energy around it, okay? Jupiter also rules this eclipse traditionally. So the ruler of this eclipse is in a positive aspect to the eclipse, which is great. Now it is in a square with Mars, so the ruler of this eclipse, Jupiter, is squaring Mars, so there can be an element of frustration, or maybe we are just feeling really, really compelled to go after what we want in some way. That could be a part of the story. The modern ruler of this is Neptune, okay, and Neptune is still in Aries, so there's still this element of where we are starting something and asserting something for ourselves, where we're putting our dreams, where we're going after our dreams, without really having a plan. That's Neptune in Aries. Like, I've got these big dreams, I'm not really seeing things clearly, but Aries is about the self. So there can be themes to do with who you are and your identity, maybe being confused about your identity, maybe being confused about how you move forward. And now that Saturn's moved out of Aries, you're just kind of left with the Neptune influence in Aries. And Aries, like I said, is about asserting ourselves. So Saturn's coming back to clear something up, maybe with our subconscious. And like I said, what's going on mentally, what's going on subconsciously. And this full moon in Pisces, so all of the themes I've mentioned, there's an element with Neptune in Aries of moving forward, of striving for something new, pioneering something, starting something, okay? Now, while this is all going on, I'm just trying to think, there's not really any other particular aspects to the full moon. I just want to double check because it's not aspecting. So, apart from the fact that, like I said, Mercury is with the sun, so this is relevant. So Mercury is it is opposing the full moon. So again, important conversations. Having to say how you feel about something which doesn't always feel comfortable. Mercury in Virgo is exalted, fresh ideas, learning something, being mentally focused on something at the moment, being mentally focused. But with the opposition, it's like, okay, I have this idea, but I need to communicate this idea, which sometimes can feel a bit comfortable. Making sure that you are saying how you feel with the opposition. Maybe having to have a conversation with somebody else, expressing yourself. Pisces energy can be very emotional, so just be careful, guys. If you know a Pisces, they may be very, very emotional this week. I've been the victim of this myself this week. If you know somebody with a lot of Pisces energy, they are just maybe flaring up this week emotionally. Just have patience and make sure that you're speaking gently to them. They're very sensitive. Just effective communication is going to be important under this full moon, because the energy can feel a bit volatile, and you guys will have to let me know what's been happening. Have you been hearing things from people in your life? If they've got mutable placements, you may be hearing all sorts of things. So you'll have to let me know in the comments how that's playing out for everyone. But we are going to run through the signs now, and I'm going to explain to you kind of potential ideas of how this can manifest for your sign. Please listen for your rising sign, as that will be the most literal and the most accurate, but your sun sign will also be very accurate. And listen to your moon as well, because you can take a piece from all of them and tie them together. So your your ascendant is quite literal. Obviously, we talk about the houses, it's literal. When you're listening from your sun sign, is because we're counting around from the sun. The sun is your goals, your gifts, your kind of how you express yourself, and anything you're kind of working towards. So it does correlate to a lot of themes in your life. Now, when we're listening to your moon sign, it will make sense more towards your emotional state, or things connected to the home, the family, and anything emotional that you've been dealing with recently. So listen to all three and piece them all together. Thank you for being here. Don't forget I do readings, and I will, I'll see you guys in the next video if you don't make it all the way to the end. Thank you for watching. So Aries, sun, moon and rising. This full moon, lunar eclipse in Pisces, is happening in your 12th house. The themes that I've already mentioned in the intro may be more relevant for you because, of course, you have the natural zodiacal order. So you could be having a realization around your self-sabotaging behaviors. With the North Node in the 12th house, you are being focused on, you're being pulled towards your spirituality in some way. Some people, if you're not spiritually inclined, this can manifest on kind of the lower energy of Pisces, where you are, you know, you're kind of escaping and you're avoiding the world. So it might be that you're drinking more, there could be substances involved, you're wanting to escape from reality, especially with Saturn's come back here. There's an element of a reality check around how do you self-sabotage. For some of you, there could be mental health struggles or themes around how you're feeling really coming up at this time. You could be feeling very sensitive, very vulnerable for some of you. If you are somebody that's on a spiritual journey, then actually this can be beautiful in the sense of you can be encouraged towards your spiritual healing. You might be going on a spiritual journey, you might be doing some shamanic healing, you might be doing a plant medicine retreat, a yoga retreat. Any kind of retreat with spiritual people can definitely come up under these eclipses for you. The 12th house is places of solitude. Maybe you're visiting someone in prison, maybe you're working with people that are less fortunate. This is, you know, charity work, homeless people, excuse me. This is church, you know, spiritual church, spiritual things coming up around this time. So it's going to look different for everyone. The 12th house is also about healing, so you're being asked to heal and let something go. The 12th house, like I said, can be anything that's going on in secret. So it can be hidden enemies, it can be secrets coming out from, because Jupiter rules this, family secrets, things that people have been thinking behind closed doors may be revealed to you at this time. The 12th house we can't always see, so things can be revealed, whether it's conversations, whether it's you know, family matters might be revealed to you under this energy. So mostly it's your mental health, it's how you're healing, it's your spiritual practices, it's your dreams. You might, like, you guys might not be sleeping at the moment. You might be healing something about your family, you might be healing something about ancestral family patterns. Like I said, shamanic work, any kind of shamanic work is really, really good for this energy. And then because of the trine to Jupiter, it could be that you're learning about this. You're doing some sort of spiritual, you know, like a Reiki course or something like that could definitely be relevant for some of you. Or you are healing those patterns with the trine to Jupiter in the 4th house. And also Neptune in your 1st house, you are becoming more spiritual, you are becoming more empathetic. And so maybe part of that is you going on some sort of journey around healing yourself. And it could just be your mental health, but there's some sort of focus there. You may, like I said, this could be affecting your dreams, so and your sleep, so you might not be sleeping that great, but just know that if you're having any psychic dreams at the moment, they're trying to tell you something. So pay attention to your dreams, maybe write your dreams down and see if that helps. 12th house, like I said, it's also hospitals and clinics, so there can be things around your health coming up, especially over the next 2 weeks with the eclipse in Virgo. So just watch out for your health, because it could just be that you're having to visit a clinic or something like that. But the trine to Jupiter is helping you, okay? Could also be that you're traveling to a faraway place. 12th house is faraway places, so some of you actually might be on holiday or just traveling. That's also could be relevant. And you guys are going through some sort of transformation, okay? This is a very powerful card. It's a card connected to Scorpio. The number 13, I'm going to read it to you. Transformation, change. So nothing remains the same, and I need to accept that life evolves through circles of birth, death, and rebirth. Now is a time of transition as things are changing from one form to another. I need to allow this to happen for the highest good. I'm called to let go of the old so I welcome in the new. Now, that might sound a bit scary to some of you, but a lot of the times that can just be, you know, like I said, you're working on limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging behaviours, and that can be the change. Some of you, it might be a physical change, and you're saying goodbye to something and welcoming something in. So please let me know, Aries, how this eclipse is playing out for you, what's going on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. You guys are experiencing this full moon lunar eclipse in your 11th house. This is the house connected to your dreams and your aspirations. This is your friendships, groups, networks, any organizations or groups that you're a part of. This is charity work, humanitarian work. This is the internet as well. Just any kind of large group of people comes under the 11th house. Any group, any group. It may be spiritual groups for you. It could be that you are getting involved in a new friendship group. You can be having issues with friends. So it can be that you are saying goodbye to friends that no longer align with you. There can be something major happening in a friend's life. The 11th house, a lot of the time things are showing up in our friends' lives. So what's going on in your friends' lives now and around the next 6 months? What big changes are they experiencing that could be seen as kind of karmic and destined? So falling out with friends, but making new friends can definitely come in. Like I said, you could be kind of attending some sort of group, or especially with the trine to Jupiter in the third, maybe doing some group learning, whether it be that you are, for example, I'm a Taurus sun, and at the weekend I'm going to an ascension workshop with a group of people. Third house is learning and community, 11th house is groups of people. So going with a spiritual, and it is a spiritual group of people, mine's very literal, but it won't be that for everyone. So what are you doing within groups of people around this time? Pay attention to what's happening in your friends' lives. Are they experiencing any changes or challenges? Of course, Saturn has moved back into the 11th house. So a reality check around your friendship groups. Maybe you are realizing that you don't have very many friends. Maybe you are realizing that your friends don't align with you anymore. Maybe you are falling out with friends, like I said. Maybe your friend is getting married, Saturn the 11th. Again, I'm actually going to a wedding on Saturday. So that makes perfect sense. Saturn is the planet of commitment. So all of these things it's so funny how astrology works, but I'm just giving you like kind of personal example. What's going on in your friends' lives, and how is Saturn playing a part? You know, how is there a reality check here? How are you, maybe having to have serious conversations with friends? That can be happening as you're setting boundaries. Maybe having to set some boundaries within a friendship group is possible. This is also the organization. So what clubs are you a part of? You may be finishing up with a club. This can be anything from like a book club, a spiritual club, to like going to the gym, like any kind of organization we can see in the 11th and the 3rd. So there can be changes there. So kind of what are you signing up for around this time? How are you getting involved in community stuff? This is also the house of the internet, okay? So this is, changes to how you're being seen. Maybe you're being more seen as spiritual. Maybe you are being more recognized. With Saturn coming back, though, there can be a bit of a reality check. Maybe you're being seen as a responsible person on the internet, or maybe you're having to sort something out. Maybe you're having to become more responsible, or just put some kind of tasks in place, or sort out your schedule when it comes to, posting. That kind of stuff can be relevant. If you're somebody that speaks or works with technology, there can be something showing up here in terms of, collaborations, working online, working with technology, paid partnerships. That kind of stuff can be relevant for some of you if it's not kind of your friends. And also, this is the house of your goals and aspirations. So whatever you're working towards over the next 6 months, your manifestations may come true. It's Pisces, it's the dream world, it's having faith. So really make sure that you have some sort of very strong manifestation practice in place, because although Saturn is coming back, so there can be an element of, like I said, taking on a more authoritative role around a large group of people, around an organization over the next 6 months. Your dreams and your aspirations can come to fruition. So what are you dreaming about? With Jupiter in the 3rd house, your voice carries weight. Your mindset is more positive with Jupiter here, and your voice carries weight. So what the information that you're sharing carries weight in some way. So especially, obviously, that would make sense if you're working online, or if you're working as part of like a group of people, or the 3rd house is like what we're doing right now. Like I'm talking to you through a screen. So if you're somebody that has to have, a lot of Teams calls, that kind of stuff, your voice carries a lot of weight. And you may see changes or things coming in and out in terms of that. You guys get the King of Fire. So this is about you. This is about you and you showing up as, again, it's like the authority figure, the person that people look up to. Creative ideas, King of Fire. So spiritual influencer, which could be relevant for some of you. Creative, inspired leadership. When I am aligned with spirit, I am a powerful leader who inspires others. My mastery benefits others as I teach them directly at times and indirectly at others, modeling what they might aspire to. How can I be confident in my own abilities and vision without becoming rigid or closed off to new ideas? Well,
I mean, I don't mean to make it about me, but I am a Taurus sun, and I feel like that's kind of really relevant to what I'm doing right now with you guys. But that will be relevant to whoever, you know, not all of you, but that may resonate with a lot of you. So let me know in the comments, Taurus, what's going on. Tell me, give me the goss, what's happening, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. Right, we're going to have a sip of coffee, guys, because I'm thirsty. Grab your coffee, grab your tea. Let's all have a little coffee break together. So, you're a mutable sign. This eclipse is very important for you. Oh my God, Geminis, can you talk to me? Talk to me and tell me what's happening this year. Something is going to happen if it's not happening now over the next 6 months when it comes to your public image out in the world. Now, this will look different for everyone. If you are working, this can be a career change. This will be a career change for a huge amount of you. The North Node in the 10th house, it's the head of the dragon, and it's like this insatiable need to go after what you want in terms of your career without really thinking about the consequences. So you can see huge changes within your career and your public image with the North Node in the 10th house over the next 6 months if nothing's happened already. Saturn retrograding back in the 10th can be a bit like, there can be issues with job changes. So that it can be that you feel compelled to change your work, but you don't know how to, or there's a blockage. Or it can be that you are taking on a more authoritative role. Excuse me. Maybe you're becoming a parent, maybe you're becoming a grandparent, because the 10th house is how we're seen. You could be getting married. Saturn in the 10th house is like, because it's our public image, Saturn is the planet of commitment, it's the parent, it's the father. So for some of you, you know, becoming a parent, becoming married, taking a role of commitment. But there can also be changes just in general to your reputation. So if you're this can bring changes with like a boss or authoritative figures, like like police, banks, institutions. Issues with authoritative figures can come up. It's all part of kind of the eclipses. But like I said, it's your status in the world and it's your legacy and what you're building. So maybe you're becoming more serious around what you're building. If you're already retired or if you don't work, this is more about, you know, what are you working towards? What are your goals? And actually maybe having a reality check around that. Sorry, I've just dropped all of my tarot cards. Maybe having a reality check around that where you're thinking, like, what am I creating? What legacy am I leaving behind? And you can feel a bit emotional about it. You know, it is Pisces. You can feel a bit emotional about it. You can feel like something's falling away from you. Maybe you have to heal something around that in some way. But if you are looking for a new job, North Node in the 10th house is going to help you get one. It is going to help you get one. And don't forget that these eclipses are going to continue throughout 2026. So if you've been looking and not finding anything and feeling frustrated, you just keep going, because you've still got time. You've still got time, and the energy is going to help you. Now, Pisces, so Jupiter that rules this is in your 2nd house. So this is good for money. It's good for money. It's good for family planning. It's good for possessions. It's good for your self-worth. Realizing that you're better than the career that you're in. Realizing that you don't need to put up with SHIT from your boss. Trying to Jupiter in the 2nd. Feeling better about yourself. That can all be relevant. Especially with Uranus now in your 1st house, you're feeling more rebellious. So if you need to quit your job, this might be the kind of energy where you think, right, that's it, I've had enough, I deserve better. And that could be what it is. The modern ruler of this Neptune is in your 11th house, so it can be a change in your goals when it comes to what you're building, or it can also be that you are going to work for a different kind of organization of some kind. So Gemini, you'll have to let me know how this is playing out for you. Do you know what's been happening in your 10th house of career so far? Pay attention over the next few weeks, and just know that if it's not kind of coming straight away, like I said, there is still time. You guys get the sun card. Now I'm going to read you another major. We're getting a lot of major arcana cards, but these are eclipses. So this is inspiration. It's a very 11th house card. I am hopeful and inspired by life right now, and everything that is happening points to a renewed sense of encouragement. After all the changes I have experienced, I'm starting to recognize the hope that comes with new beginnings. So that's a positive card for you. So hopefully that gives you a bit of positivity. Something else that can happen in the 10th house is changes with our parents. Both of our parents are connected to the 4th and the 10th. So you just might see some changes with your parents.
over the next few weeks, if that's relevant for some of you. So let me know, Gemini, how this eclipse is showing up. What are your thoughts? And I'll see you in the next video. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. You guys are experiencing this full moon in your 9th house. The 9th house is your beliefs. Because it's Pisces, it's probably your spiritual beliefs, but it can be religious beliefs, your faith. Just your belief system shows up in the 9th house. It's your worldview, higher education, everything you're learning. This is also teachers and gurus and people that are going to help you grow show up in this 9th house. The 9th house is travel, places we're traveling to, ceremonies, weddings. I'm a Cancer rising. I'm going to a wedding at the weekend. Perfect. Saturn, the planet of commitment, has come back into this sign, going to a wedding. But also other legal matters show up here. So any kind of legal ceremonies or legal paperwork can be relevant. You may be completing some paperwork. You may be getting divorced. You may be finalizing just kind of legal matters, maybe to do with a home. Or, all of that kind of paperwork stuff can show up in the 9th house. You may be studying something. You may be doing a course that's going to kind of further your mind, further your personal development. The 9th house is also astrology, changes in, some of you might be becoming astrologers, that you're being propelled towards this journey if you are. The 9th house is also broadcasting and publishing our work, what we're putting out there. So for example, YouTube, publishing anything you've written can show up in the 9th house. Just you're broadcasting the things that you're learning when you're in the 9th house. Now, it can have connection to do with your career or how you're seen. So learning something new that's going to help your career or studying something that's going to help your career with Neptune in the 10th. Jupiter's in your 1st house. So this is trining you. So actually feeling really positive about your future, feeling positive about your mindset, feeling positive about your beliefs around this time. Very possible. Jupiter in the 1st house is giving you a real boost of positivity and abundance and just feeling better about whatever's going on in your life in some sense. Feeling compelled to growth, feeling compelled to spiritually evolve for some of you. Just feeling, maybe wanting to learn something. And actually, because Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, the full moon here trining Jupiter is allowing us that chance to grow, that chance to become wise, that chance to ascend in some way. Again, you could be traveling somewhere under this. Saturn coming into the 9th does speak to kind of maybe taking an authoritative approach to what you're learning. So like I said, like doing a course, finalizing a course, or realizing that whatever you're studying is not right, because Saturn can be a pain. So it could be that you're realizing something that you're studying is not going quite right. Saturn rules your 7th house, so this is a lot of it is about you and other people. So that's why I said like weddings, ceremonies, that kind of thing can be really, really relevant. Just legal matters to do with other people can be really relevant. But a lot of you are going to be learning, a lot of you are going to be expanding your mind around this time. So you'll have to let me know, Cancer, what is going on for you. How have your beliefs changed so far this year? Saturn in the 9th house again, it is retrograding. So you've already been through most of this transit, but there can be an element of a crisis of faith. But this particular eclipse, it's looking quite positive. So I don't think it is that. But just with Saturn going back, there can be like a rethinking around, okay, what are my beliefs? What do I believe in? We just have to have a sip of coffee sometimes. Okay, you guys get the 2 of Earth. Okay, this is like weighing up options when it comes to money, resources, help when it comes to your resources. 2 of Earth, pleasurable work, adaptability, balance between work and play. My efforts bring me joy, play and work are not separate because what I'm doing is actually fun. If conditions change, I can switch gears easily. I'm fully present in the excitement of creativity and I'm eager to experience the surprises that occur when seeds I have planted take root, sprout and develop in unexpected ways. This is a time for flexibility and trust in how the universe will shape what is coming into being. One way or another, my dreams manifest in the material world. So that's a positive card. It's just encouraging you that what you're doing should be fun. Ninth house is also like this whole axis is to do with television, and I'm a Cancer rising. I applied to be on Deal or No Deal, so I'm like, hello, are they going to call me back and I'm going to go on TV? Like, come on, let's do it. So hopefully that will manifest. That would be hilarious if it did. So yeah, you'll have to let me know, Cancers, what's going on in your life. How is this relevant? How is it showing up for you? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising. This North Node lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces, this full moon, is happening in your 8th house. This is the house of crisis, death, transformation, joint finances. This is the occult. This is divination. This is skeletons in the closet. This is your psychology. It's the very, very deep house. It's where we go deep. It's where we have secrets. It's where things like to be hidden. So this can feel very actually emotional, maybe for some of you. The 8th house, of course, like I said, it's death and transformation. So you may be going through something transformational at the moment. You may be evolving from a crisis. You may be rising from the ashes. Maybe you are the phoenix coming out of a really difficult time in some way. For some of you, a small amount of you, you may just hear about losing people. There may be loss because this is the house of death. That's going to be a small minority of you, because a lot of the time it really is just symbolic, like the end of something in order for something to evolve. This is also the house connected to conception, so that could be relevant for some of you. Divinate, like I said, divination and occult, so anything to do with like tarot, anything metaphysical. This is ghosts, ghost hunts, runes. Astrology can be associated with this house, although I do tend to see it more in the 9th, but it can be because astrology can be is channeled, so you may see that show up there in some way. Just anything kind of, anything metaphysical, anything that we can't see or we can't touch. Magic shows up in the 8th house. So just involving yourself in those types of things, involving yourself in developing spiritually, and developing and actually healing and transforming yourself, because the 8th house is transformation. It's your transformation. It can also be like if you're a coach or something, like helping other people transform. The 8th house is a lot of the time where we work with other people, so you could be helping them transform over something. The 8th house is also our psychology. It's Pluto's house. It's like, why am I behaving like this? And so a realization around your own behavior, realization of going deep into psychology can be relevant. Working with a therapist can be relevant, especially with Saturn retrograding back into here. So working with a therapist and working through psychological matters can be relevant for some of you. This is the house of joint finances. This is your partner's money. So a realization or some changes or something happening over the next few weeks and the next 6 months to do with your partner's money. Joint finances, having to have a plan together, paying off debts, taking out car loans, mortgages together. Issues with intimacy or realization about intimacy can be possible. Inheritance. This is your investments, and like your direct debits and all of that kind of stuff shows up in the 8th house. So with Saturn coming back here, it's kind of like, okay, you need to have a bit of a reality check around your finances, or your bills and all of that kind of like when you think about like your debts, like your direct debits, the things that you owe, the money that you owe can show up here. So having Saturn come back is like a reality check, right? Okay, are you aware of your bills that are going out? Are you aware of how much interest you have on your savings account? All of that kind of stuff can show up and can be relevant in some way. Now, there can be legal matters relevant connected to joint finances. So connected to a partner, if you're married, if you're going through a divorce, all of those things can be relevant because Neptune is in the 9th house of legal matters, and it's tying in with your joint finances. You can also be, excuse me, with the trine to Jupiter in the 12th, you are going through a healing journey in some way, and it can be a very, very spiritual and beautiful healing journey where you're doing your shadow work and you are focusing on spiritual matters and you are healing spiritually, energetically, and Jupiter in the 12th house is helping you here. You're healing something. You guys get the 2 of air. Let's read the positive affirmation for that. 2 of air, 2 of air, 2 of air. 2 of air. But do I want to say anything else about that before I continue? I think I've mentioned most of the things that I want to mention. So it says stalemate, uncertainty, and considering options. Time to take a break or consider my options and think about things. There is no need to rush forward. The perfect answer for the highest good will come to me if I take my time and remain in a peaceful state of mind. So if you are going through something difficult, Leo, then of course it's reminding you to take your time, not make any rash decisions. This eclipse may bring things to light. It may bring secrets to light. You may have two options. Pisces is the dual energy. You may not know which direction to swim in. Okay, that might be what I'm getting from that. You might be feeling very sensitive about something. You're just not sure which direction to swim in, and there can be two options. And there can be different ways to go. So just surrender, just see what happens. Like it says in that card, don't make any rash decisions. Let me know if any of that's relevant, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, Virgo. You are one of the key players here. This is a very, very important full moon eclipse for you because, of course, it's happening in an angular house. The South Node is in your sign. You've got your eclipse coming up in 2 weeks. It's all kind of meshing together. This particular full moon is highlighting something about your relationships. If you are feeling emotional this week when it comes to you and a partner, if there's arguments, if there's things coming up, then try not to let it bother you too much. You have had Saturn move back into your 7th house. Saturn can be a bit of a reality check when it comes to your relationship. So it can just be making things a bit kind of harsh in some way. Like you might be arguing, you just might be realizing something about one-on-one relationships. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner, although it can be. This is any one-on-one relationship. It can be a relationship with your child. It can be a relationship with a parent. It can be a best friend. So changes to your one-on-one relationships, and actually there might be a relevant theme to what happened 6 months ago in March when we had another full moon in Pisces. What happened? What was significant then? There might be a completion or something related to that now. Full moon is a completion, but it can also be a new beginning because it's with the North Node. So who important in your life? What changes have happened throughout this year? It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It can be that you're getting married or engaged. Saturn is the planet of commitment. You could be getting engaged. You could be getting married. Neptune's in the 8th house of intimacy. So on the one hand, it could be that you're dealing with the loss of somebody, one-on-one, Neptune in the 8th house of death. On the other hand, it can be that you are getting intimate with somebody. There's topics around intimacy, topics around conception, topics around joint finances can be relevant, changes to your partner's life or significant relationships in your life. So anyone significant in your life may be having significant changes because the 7th house is never about us, it's about the other person. So we can often see huge changes in our partner's lives, like maybe they've got a new job, maybe they're getting pregnant, maybe they are changing, something's happening with their family. So changes in their life can be really relevant. But this particular full moon is actually trining Jupiter. So it does speak towards your goals. If you have goals with a partner, they're going to come true over the next 6 months. Whatever your goals are, especially connected to family and home and nurturing, like, for example, if you guys are going to have a baby, planning to have a baby, maybe in the next 6 months it might happen. If you guys are planning to move, maybe in the next 6 months it might happen if it's not happening now. So the trine to Jupiter is bringing you new opportunity. Be careful with conversations, especially Mercury's in your 1st house and it's opposing this full moon. So make sure that you are having healthy conversations. You may be emotionally charged up. We can just often see anything when we're having kind of interactions with other people as well. But also the 7th house is like agreements and contracts. So you might be making a financial agreement under this. You might be signing, a financial agreement. It is trining Jupiter, but then we have got the Saturn influence. So just make sure that you are kind of vetting things. Don't do anything kind of impulsive. But then it is an eclipse and we tend to just go with the flow with eclipses. Just try and listen to your intuition there. But with the Saturn influence, there can be like a bit of obviously Saturn can create blockages and delays. So there can be a bit of an issue with Saturn involved if it comes to business partnerships or signing any kind of like legal agreements. So that's just something to be aware of because you might say that comes up. 7th house is our sales, our clients, anyone we work with one-on-one. So for some of you, it can be that you're working with a therapist, you're working with clients. You might see a huge influx of clients come in. And with Saturn here, it can be that you are You know, maybe you may be having an issue with a client, or maybe you are having to organize your diary better because you're busy. That all of those things can show up. A business partner may come in. Networking, or you know, things to do with best friends can happen as well. So changes in your best friend's life, that is also possible. You guys get the Hanged Man. So again, it's about surrender, and the Hanged Man is connected to Pisces. Okay, it's number 12 sign of the Zodiac, and you've got Pisces on your 7th house. So I'm going to read you the positive affirmation that comes with this. So it says surrender. Sacrifice and surrender are necessary at times like this. Nothing in life is free, nor does everything happen according to my timetable. When this card appears, I'm reminded that a delay is in my best interest, that until all the elements are in place, I'm meant to surrender to the greater will, for the highest good of all. Time for me to let go of an attachment to how I thought things had to be. I am called to surrender and wait to see how things play out. So just see what happens. For some of you, there could be endings in relationships. That is possible. But what I want to make clear is this: endings in relationships only happen if it was always meant to happen. And you know, if you're on the rocks, then yeah, an eclipse can come and end your relationship 100%. Especially with Saturn returning, you know, it's eclipse in the 7th house. But that's not going to happen if you and your partner are meant to be. You know, there's loads of Virgo risings that are in happy relationships. That's not necessarily going to be the case, but it can be the case for some of you. So if that is happening, then I'm sorry, and I do hope you guys are okay. Let me know in the comments what's been going on for you this year, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. You guys are experiencing this full moon in Pisces, lunar eclipse, in the sign, in your 6th house. This is connected to your health, your work, your routines, how you look after yourself. This is self-care. This is the people that you work with, the people that work underneath you, and your pets. So changes to your job are probably imminent, or your routine in some way. You could be having a realization about your job, a realization about your schedule. A lot of you will change jobs. You know, you're changing jobs. You may have had a new opportunity come to you with Jupiter in the 10th house. You're changing jobs, or your routines are changing. You know, maybe you are doing less days at one job and increasing your business, or something like that. You've got Pluto in the 5th house. If you run your own business, this is helping you transform that. So there can be changes to your schedule, your work, your routines. Saturn is retrograded back here. So Saturn is like trying to clear something up and is bringing you a reality check around your work. So it can be that you're busy. It can be that you're feeling overwhelmed. It can be that you're feeling overburdened, but it can also be that you are being encouraged to set boundaries when it comes to your work and your schedules. Where do you need to put boundaries in place? Can also be that if you have got a new job, maybe you're taking on some sort of authoritative role in some way. Make sure you're looking after your health. Because when you have eclipses in your health houses, there can be things come up to do with your health. You may end up in, you know, hospital visits. You may, not necessarily, but it can happen with the South and the North Node in this axis. North Node in the 6th house is more focused on your health. Your routines. What are you eating? What are you doing? What you know, are you going for a run? Are you going to the gym? There can just be more focus on your health routine and looking after your body with the North Node in Pisces. Maybe taking a more holistic approach to your health is possible. You know, what supplements are you taking? You know, are you doing breath work to get rid of any stress in your body? Are you going to Reiki? Are you having reflexology? All of that kind of stuff can show up with the North Node in the 6th house. Yoga, things like that. Holistic healing comes with Pisces on the 6th house and the North Node there. Issues with bones, issues with skin, issues with teeth. Saturn retrograding back into the 6th. And this full moon may highlight something about your health. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It can just be that you're realizing, actually, I want to get back in the gym. I want to really, really commit to this new workout routine. It's trining Jupiter in your 10th house. So a lot of you, this is going to be work and career related, because these are your working houses. This is how you're earning and what the work you're putting in order to earn money, of course. So let me know, Libra, what's happening with your work. I've just dropped all the tarot cards, so we're going to have to pick them up because we can't read out 20 cards. Yeah, so your schedules. And just like just wanting to listen to your intuition when it comes to your schedules as well, because Pisces is of course our intuition and it's our dreams. What are your dreams when it comes to the amount that you work? How often do you want to work? Try and write down what you want from your work life. Set boundaries with that. There can be things to do with co-workers, so either falling out with co-workers or changes with co-workers, especially with Saturn retrograding back. Having fallouts with co-workers is possible, or maybe you've got a team of people that you manage. That's also possible. You guys get the Messenger of Earth. Okay, it's an Earth card for an Earth house, so that's... God, what's wrong with me? I'm butterfingers, aren't I? Okay, so Messenger of Earth. No, we're at page. Messenger, okay. So, hardworking, proceeding with integrity, perseverance and grit, prudent and careful efforts, thoroughness, industriousness, stamina and dedication. I'm in the flow, committed to co-creating with spirit effectively and efficiently. I do my best and I never leave a job half done. I am dedicated and determined, knowing my efforts will pay off. So that's interesting. It's kind of telling you that you, if you work hard, which can be Saturn in the 6th house, working hard will get you to achieve your goals when it comes to the work that you want to achieve. That's what I get from that. You are being propelled towards your destiny when it comes to your work. But you need to put in the work, the effort, and you will get there. So that's going to resonate with some of you, maybe not all of you. Let me know, Libra, your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising, you are experiencing this full moon lunar eclipse in your 5th house. This is a house that is friendly to you, fellow water sign. And with the trine to Jupiter as well, like this is, it's still an eclipse. I want to say it's a positive eclipse, but it's still an eclipse, so it is still volatile. But essentially, it is a positive full moon. So you could be having a realization about your love life. You can be going on a date. You can be finishing up with somebody that no longer aligns with you romantically. Because of the Saturn retrograde back into your 5th house, you're being asked, is this person right for me? Is this the romance that I want? So there can be an ending to relationships if you've been like seeing someone, something like that. But it can also be that you're going on a date, and it can also be that you're actually meeting someone around this time who could be very karmic romantically for you, could be very destined. A soulmate could come in, basically, is what I'm trying to say during this time. Now the 5th house is connected to our business, what we're creating, and with the trine to Jupiter in the 9th, it could be that you are making changes to your business. You're getting creative. Maybe you're reworking your business. Maybe you're, with the Saturn influence, it can be that you're restructuring your business. Maybe you're wanting to make it more spiritual, or you are wanting to offer some new opportunities when it comes to your business, or you are learning something and you're kind of implementing that into your business with the trine to Jupiter. But creative changes are possible, or whatever you do creatively, even if you have a job and you have to do a creative project, there can be changes there where you're working on creative things. Now, 5th house is how we have fun. So new hobbies, new ways of having fun, joining groups with the Sun and Mercury in the 11th and also eclipse coming here. So joining new groups, just really thinking about, okay, how do I express myself? How do I have fun? And how am I stepping into the limelight? 5th house is also children. So for a lot of you, you might be having babies, you might be becoming a parent, or things are changing in your child's life. There's big changes and transformations in the life of your children. A lot of people have just started school, which makes perfect sense. But for your child, this could be a particularly significant event in their life. Can be some issues with Saturn here. Maybe they're feeling left out. Maybe they're finding it difficult. Maybe there's something going on at school where they're having a bit of a challenge and they're finding it difficult with the Saturn piece there. But the trine to Jupiter is helping. It is helping, and it is adding a positive boost. What else do I want to say about the 5th house? For a lot of you, it's going to be like what are you creating? How are you showing off your creativity? It's Pisces. Pisces is a creative sign, but changes there. So changes to your business, changes to how you're showing up, changes to what you're creating, changes to your love life, changes to your children's lives. And remember, this can manifest over the next 6 months. With Neptune in the 6th house, this can directly tie in to you know, your work and your routines and your schedule. So your working schedules when it comes to a business, or health things to do with a child, or maybe you meet somebody romantic at work. Maybe you meet somebody romantic when traveling. That's possible. You guys get the Tower card. Okay. I mean, that's fine. That is just, you know, your whole life's going to crumble and something's going to be rebuilt. No biggie. Another major arcana card. So surprises. Things happen really fast when this card shows up. Its appearance could portend a total paradigm shift or a sudden upheaval that takes something away in order for something better to take its place. It could be that I've had an epiphany. Whatever it is, this card tells me unexpected events will be very interesting and offer an opportunity for positive transformation if I remain present with my eyes open. So big changes could be coming for you guys, some of you. So you'll have to let me know how that's going to play out, Scorpio, what's happening. Tell me, give me the goss. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. This full moon lunar eclipse is happening in your 4th house. This is the house connected to your home, your family, your roots, your ancestry. You're a mutable sign, so this eclipse is going to be really important to you because this part of your chart is really sensitive. So you could be feeling really emotional. What's been happening over the past few weeks? Have you had any changes to do with your family and your home? Saturn has retrograded here, so it's not necessarily going to be easy. Reality check around family matters. A reality check when it comes to your romance or people in your life. You know, having to restructure something around the home. It can be that you are moving. It can be that you are thinking about moving within the next 6 months. Topics around moving could be very relevant. Trining Jupiter in the 8th, things to do with joint finances. So there can be themes to do with borrowing money so that you can move. So actually this could be really good for mortgages or, you know, financial matters. Getting approved for financial matters can be really helpful with the trine to Jupiter. Because Saturn is giving you a reality check around your home in some way. So it's like saying to you, you know, okay, well, we can't live here forever. Where are we going to live? Maybe you're, you know, knocking things down, restructuring things in your home. That's possible. Changes with the people that you live with, or changes just with your family members. This can also be things to do with parents showing up. So maybe your parents are going through a transformation. Maybe your parents are, could be a change in their life. So it could be a change to do with their health, a change to do with something in a parent's life can be relevant. And there can also just be some issues with family members with Saturn moving back into the 4th. So you could be feeling a bit lonely. You could be feeling a bit isolated in some way. With Saturn in the 4th house, like a realization that you're, just a realization that you're alone. Because the 4th house is also our emotions. So we can be feeling a bit kind of, I want to say lonely and isolated. There can also be, like I said, themes to do with your ancestry. So, you know, focusing on that more, that is possible. But big changes within the home over the next 6 months. So people moving in, people moving out, restructuring. Things can break. Like Saturn in the 4th house can be that like just annoying things happen. Like you have to pay to have your drains done and things like that can happen because it is Pisces. So it's like things with water. You could get a new bathroom. That could be possible for some of you. And you get the Page of Water. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. So this is like a new beginning or a new idea. So maybe you've got an idea about how you want your home to be, or something could be brewing. I'm going to read you the affirmation. It says, open-heartedness, childlike innocence and curiosity, beginning of intimacy and relationships, playfulness and cheerful optimism. I open my heart fully, allowing myself to feel childlike wonder and innocence. All adventures lead me to where I need to go. Love awaits. Life is a delightful dance and I am here to frolic and play. I am ready with a big smile and I have on my dancing shoes. I mean, that's actually a really positive card. So it's kind of encouraging you that whatever's going on, there does seem to be a new beginning coming for you that you should get excited about when it comes to your home and family based on this eclipse. So good luck, guys. You'll have to let me know what's going on and I'll see you in the next video. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising. You are experiencing this full moon lunar eclipse in your 3rd house. So themes around your siblings. You could be having conversations with your siblings. Serious conversations with your siblings with Saturn moving back into the third, that can be relevant, or things to do with relatives can be relevant. The third house is a huge variety of things. So this is about communication, connection, our community, technology. So changes to technology like your phone, your laptop, connecting with people online, social media, being seen as an authority figure on social media, or having some restrictions. So whether that be, you get locked out of your account, or someone tries to, take over your account, something like that. Those kind of things can come up. Could be that you're learning something new, you're wanting to study. There can be changes in your mindset. Maybe you are having changes around your approach to spirituality, or, your approach to whatever it is whatever information it is that you take on. There can be some changes there. So it can be that you're wanting to learn something new, you're teaching things. It can be, the third house is our local neighborhood. So maybe you're getting involved in the school PTA, or maybe you are having to go, the third house, I see the third house show up so much when it comes to booking appointments, doctor's appointments for blood tests, all of that kind of stuff shows up in the third house. Third house is information. It's how we're talking to people. It's, media, TV, social media, all of that kind of information stuff. Blogging, writing comes up in the third. So you might find yourself wanting to start a blog, or you are getting creative around, you're writing poetry, or there's some creative writing involved. With the Saturn piece though, it's almost like there's a reality check. So maybe you're having to take more responsibility around situations when it comes to your siblings, or around community matters, taking a responsible role. I think I've already said that. Things to do with your transportation, so things to do with your car, or the way you get around, or your daily errands show up in the third house. So just some delays or blockages, or just annoying things can happen with the Saturn piece. But under this particular eclipse, it could be that some of you might be buying a new car, or selling your car, something like that can happen, or you're changing your route to work. With Neptune in the fourth house, again, there is going to be an element of family matters, matters connected to siblings, family members, maybe things to do with your mother or your father, and you're having to have a conversation with your siblings. That can be possible. Third house is a mindset. So Saturn moving back into the third, maybe feeling a bit more negative for some of you is possible over the next kind of the rest of the year, where Saturn will be there. But this particular eclipse, documentation, maybe signing legal matters is possible. Jupiter that rules this traditionally is in the seventh house. So conversations with your partner, important conversations with your partner, important paperwork, important contracts and agreements might be signed. Going on a local trip. Local trips are really relevant with the third house. Traveling somewhere with a partner, going camping, or going to stay in a different town or city is possible with third house as well. You guys get the Emperor, another major arcana card. We're having so many major arcana cards come out. Do I want to say anything else about that? Or have I said everything I want to say? I think I've said everything that I want to say. So, authority. Following the rules right now is exactly what I should be doing. People in authority come to my aid and give me good advice when I ask for it. I can have the strong confidence that this card suggests. Dealing with institutions like banks, governments, or schools are also highlighted at this time. And just before it said that schools, in my mind, it really popped in schools. So if you have children, there might be something going on with them at school. Obviously, everyone's just started back at school. So for some of you, there can be relevance around you getting involved with school matters and having to have those important conversations. So let me know, Capricorn, how that resonates for you, what is going on, and I will see you in the next video. Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising, you are experiencing this full moon in the sign of Pisces in your second house. This is highlighting your possessions, your income, your finances, your money, what it is that you own. This is the house connected to your skills, your voice, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your values. So it's very financial. A lot of you are going to be having a realization about your money. With the Saturn retrograding back here, it's okay, what am I spending my money on? Do I need to tighten my belt? what's happening with my work. So Jupiter is trining this and it's in your 6th house of work. So actually it could be that you're coming into some money, you're earning more money from the work that you're doing. You're feeling more positive about the work that you're doing. You're feeling more positive about your income. But with Saturn, it's like, okay, but we need to get serious here. We need to, start saving, or we need to just tighten our belt in some sense. But at the same time, you're feeling positive about it with the trine to Jupiter. Or there's an opportunity for earning something new, something different, more money coming in, like I said. A realization about your values and what's important to you. So, changes to your values, changes to your possessions. You could be having a clear out. You could be sorting through old things in the loft, and just sorting out your possessions. Getting creative when it comes to the things that you own. A realization about your values and what's important to you. Especially when it comes to your family values, because Jupiter's in Cancer. So, what are your family values? What's important? What's important about money? What actually, you might even be realizing that money is not everything. That kind of stuff can come up. The modern rule of this Neptune's in the 3rd house. So conversations about money or earning money through work that you're doing by communicating or using media or using your hands in some way. You guys, wait, do I want to say anything about that before we go straight into the tarot card? There can be a relevance between something to do with your partner's money as well, and like taxes and investments, things coming in from things that you've invested, that can be relevant. And you get the 8 of water. Read you the positive affirmation. 8 of water. Journey of discovery, letting go and seeking a deeper meaning and greater authenticity beyond superficiality. All that glitters isn't gold, and I know that I always deserve authentic riches, the gold that fills me with joy, abundance and understanding. I fearlessly pause to re-examine where I have been, where I am and where I might go. Now I consciously choose the path that is right for me instead of the one that seems likely to draw me onto it, or the one that I feel I ought to walk. I am true to my heart. I've come as far as I can, and I leave by the wayside the last vestiges of illusion, the last bits of fear and shame. I will no longer hold on to what isn't right for me. So there can definitely be an ending of how you're earning money. But like I said before, it can be a change to your values. What's actually important. Pisces on the 2nd house, you don't really pay much attention to where your money's going. You might not have, your self-worth might not be very strong, Aquarius. So maybe that's something that you need to work on. Maybe your self-worth is undergoing a bit of a reality check at this time, and you need to focus on that in some way. So you'll have to let me know 111, so you can take that as a little nudge from the angels. Let me know how this eclipse is playing out for you, what's happening for you financially, what's happening with you about your realizations around your values. Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, Pisces. Pisces. Pisces rising is one of the rarest rising signs. It doesn't actually rise for that long. I just had to change that to 30 minutes to get this to come up. Very rare rising sign. If you have Pisces rising, you are one of the rare ones. So Pisces, sun, moon and rising. This is obviously all about you, this eclipse. The North Node is in your sign. What has happened to you in 2025? What drastic changes are you going through? What transformations are you going through? Where have you been called to listen to your faith and to surrender and trust? Have you experienced loss? Have you experienced change? What is going on? So this full moon lunar eclipse, something is happening. It can be related to other people in your life. It can be related to children, to romance, but this is a full moon, so it's a realization. But the 1st house is everything connected to your life. Okay, it's your identity and the direction of your life, and huge changes this year and next year around your life direction, the direction that you want to go. Now Saturn has just moved back into your sign, so there is a bit of a reality check in some way, and it can be a reality check around your health, a reality check around your personal development, how you're showing up in the world. Are you setting boundaries for yourself? You may feel yourself being a little bit agitated, or in the sense of you're wanting to assert your boundaries. The North Node is in your sign, Saturn is in your sign. Where are you sticking up for yourself and putting your boundaries in place, and where are you no longer going to take shit from people? Sorry to swear, I didn't actually mean to swear, that just came out. Where are you no longer going to take BS from people? A realization about your body is possible, your identity, like I said. Neptune, that modernly rules this, is in your 2nd house. So there can be things to do with money and values and self-worth coming up. Where do you value yourself? Like I said, where are you sticking up for yourself? Are there changes to your money? Are there changes to your income? That's possible. Now, the trine to Jupiter in your 5th house is relevant because Jupiter is the traditional ruler of this full moon in your sign, this eclipse in your sign. Family matters can be relevant. Matters to do with children. If you have goals around having children, see what happens over the next 6 months. Something positive can happen with the trine to Jupiter in your 5th house. You may see themes to do with children. If you already have children, then maybe just positive experiences and feeling more positive about them, or they're going through something more positive can come from this. 5th house is also our business. Maybe some of you are starting your own business. Maybe you're doing something creative. Maybe you are starting a new hobby, focusing on yourself, focusing on having fun. But Saturn in the 1st is it's reminding you to take responsibility about something. It's reminding you to step up to the mark. It's reminding you that you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility around reaching your goals. How are you going to get there? And you will see changes this year and next year, but this particular full moon you're realizing something about your goals, okay? There can be issues with, I don't want to say issues, but there can be some kind of volatility with other people because the Saturn is in your 7th house. So there can be changes to relationships in general for you. With the South Node in your 7th house, people can be coming in, people can be going out because you are focusing more on yourself and setting those boundaries and just focusing more on the changes that are coming in your life. You may notice issues with sleep. You may notice issues with your skin, your bones or your teeth with Saturn in the 1st house. You may be feeling more tired, and you may be called towards, like I said, just kind of focusing on personal development, and restructuring your life in some way. You guys get the 9 of air. Okay, I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. We love this book because it gives us positive affirmations. The air cards can be a bit a little bit more challenging, but it's saying you need to shift negative self-talk to self-compassion, from fear to possibility, and a call to faith. With a gentle mellifluous voice, I tell myself that I will be okay, that I am okay, and that any fear is merely false evidence appearing as real. I forgive myself because I know I'm a human, trying the best I can. I need only call on spirit to remember that I can and I will do better as new possibilities begin to gather on my horizon. So it's asking you to be kind to yourself. So maybe you're being a bit harsh on yourself under this eclipse energy. Maybe stuff's going on. Maybe you're feeling emotional. It's asking you to be kind to yourself and speak to yourself in a positive manner. Now, you have got Mercury opposing, the moon in your 7th house. So conversations with other people are going to be relevant. So make sure that you're kind of speaking with precision, Virgo, and saying how you feel and sticking up for yourself, but not in like a dramatic, emotional way, guys. Sometimes you bottle things up and then you just explode emotionally and people are like, where the hell did that come from? Because you struggle to say how you're feeling in the first place. Neptune, that rules Pisces, is the god of the sea, and I always think of like a massive wave, like a huge wash of emotions because you've held everything down for so long. So you may see that coming up under this eclipse, but essentially you are restructuring who you are and you are being moved towards your destiny this year. So I hope the eclipses are serving you well and aren't too chaotic. Let me know what's going on for you. Please write in the comments. If you got value from this video, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content from me, and of course drop a comment, and thank you for watching. Don't forget I do readings, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.